First of all, I respect you being very politically correct. And you said she beat the Russians, but he won the games.
Yeah.
Bruce won the games.
Should Donald Trump run in 2024?
That's his decision.
Would you support him if he did? Caitlyn Jenner, thanks to this.
Love you, Judge.
All right, now, you're considered to be one of our nation's greatest athletes and heroes, and the moment you crossed the finish line in 1976 for that decathlon, some fan ran across the finish line on the track and gave you a flag. And you waved that flag proudly, and that became a very iconic moment, not just then, but throughout history in terms of the Olympics.
Right.
How do you compare today to then?
Boy, has it changed. Remember, that was 1976, our country's bicentennial year. We were just 3 weeks earlier, the biggest 4th of July celebration the country's ever had, celebrating 200 years. Right. I've seen through the years the deterioration of our flag, of our love of country. I still love our country. Okay, we certainly have issues, but I'm a patriot. My grandfather fought in World War I. You know, my dad stormed the beaches of Normandy, first boats on. 364 guys in his division, 60 came back alive, you know, to fight for our freedoms. And I've always had that in my heart, patriotism. I love this country. I was very proud to put that flag up. But I've seen it go down to where now we just saw this Gwen, the hammer thrower, disrespect our flag, and that bothers me.
Let's talk about Gwen Berry. You know, she came in 3rd place, and she thought it was all about her. She said they played the national anthem when they knew that she didn't like it. Did she understand?
Yeah. She didn't like. Yeah. Okay, all right.
All right, but the United States was her ticket to those Olympics. They were the trials at that point. Should she be allowed to go forward when she's indicated that she pretty much rejects the flag, rejects the national anthem?
You know what, that's a tough question. Why? Because I like individual freedoms. Number one, I think we need to protect individual freedoms. I think people like that who are going to disrespect our flag to make a political statement and maybe get more hits, you know, on social media, technically have a right to do that, but we also have the right. They have the right to deserve the consequences that will come out of their actions.
But are there enough consequences to someone like Gwen Berry?
Excellent question. In so many cases, no. Sometimes you become big stars for that, like getting commercials for Nike and things like that. That bothers me tremendously. This that world that we're living in right now is, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know how we move forward. We have to move forward and be strong. We have to move forward with love of country, being a patriot.
Well, then wouldn't
that to me is so important.
But wouldn't this be a perfect example or a perfect situation if she goes to the International Olympics? What is it, Rule 50, that doesn't allow any kind of political statement?
Right.
Should she be allowed to compete in that?
No, she just should not be allowed to make a political statement at the games, on the stand, at any point. Just stand there and be proud of what you've accomplished.
And I want to go back to when you won, that iconic moment.
Great day.
It was a great day. It was a great day for you, and it was a great day for America. And here's a quote from one of the articles. She beat the Soviets in the Olympics and inspired a nation. How do you channel that into this race that you're running in California?
First of all, I respect you being very politically correct. And you said she beat the Russians, but he won the games.
Yeah.
Bruce won the games. Bruce did a great job. Bruce is a good person. The night after the games are over with, or the next morning, I walked into the bathroom, didn't have a stitch of clothes on, gold medal sitting on the counter. And I, full-length mirror, boom, throw the medal on, look into the mirror, and I go, oh my God, what did I just do? Did I build this character up so big that I'm stuck with him for the rest of my life?
Even then,
Because,
you knew?
oh, I knew from when I was a little kid. But, you know, in the 50s and 60s, growing up, there wasn't even a name for it. Just kept your mouth shut. And I said, I'm stuck with this character for the rest of my life. And fortunately, even with, they've been with me my whole life. I mean, this is not something that just like, you know, one day, oh my God, I'm trans. This is something that you deal with. It's part of you, like being left-handed or right-handed.
The move to recall Gavin Newsom was huge. People resented him for all of the, you know, for thee but not me, you know, eating in the restaurants, going out, going to, and all that. But then now it seems his numbers are, his approval rating is just over 50%. Does the voter have a very short memory?
Of course, everybody has a short memory, and our job is to try to keep the pressure on this. Yes, Gavin Newsom has been the decline of California has only accelerated under his rule. Okay, Gavin Newsom is only interested in himself. He's only interested in keeping his position. He's not interested in the people. Honestly, he hasn't done one thing for the people. Every time he turns around, he's doing it for special interests. We have to keep the pressure on him in a recall election. We have to keep the pressure, and we have to remind people. And you know, I feel like the people that are really going to get him out of office are the parents, the mothers of the kids. And this is the reason for the recall, because he's done such a terrible job in shutting our schools down for the last year. We can't let him forget it. He's going to come up with everything. He's going to come up with programs. I even call it the recall rebate. He's going to send out money, taxpayers' money in the state of California, okay, their money back out to distribute it to people for votes, basically.
Let's move on to another problem that California has, and that is a very, very high crime rate. It's exemplified for me this past week, actually last week now, where these thugs go into Neiman Marcus in the middle of the day, not under cover of darkness, not at night, and just take what they want. And 10 of them leave, and they get away. No one's been arrested. 17 Walgreens closed down. Businesses are shortening their hours because they can't. There's no one there to protect the inventory, the employees, or the customers. How can you help?
Well, San Francisco made it legal to steal. Bottom line. That cannot happen. I would make sure, first of all, it's a crime to steal.
Oh, it has been.
Well, it has been. On a state level, we have to continue to enforce that. We have to get tough on crime. We've seen over the last few years how, not just in California, but all across the country, how politicians are enforcing one law and ignoring the next one. You know, that cannot be.
Really
we
about
have
the DAs.
to follow the law.
But Caitlyn, it's about the DAs. It's about George Gascon in L.A. County, who wants not only to not enforce the law. It's about Chesa Boudin, who doesn't like domestic violence cases. He doesn't like prosecuting them. It's about these fake thresholds. How do you get the individual DA to enforce the law? You can't.
Actually, in California, I was in Orange County talking to the DA down there. And he was filling me in on how George Soros has been funding all these lawyers at low ends, very liberal lawyers.
Progressive DAs.
Yes, and you know this field very well. And he keeps funding them to giving as much money as they want because he figures he's got to change this country from the bottom up. He wants to destroy this country. Those type of judges, DAs, honestly, we have to inform the people and just not to have these people. They're destroying our judicial system. Right now, if you are on parole and you miss your parole hearing, you do anything wrong, let me tell you, we have to have a tracking system, find those people, and boom, put them back in jail.
What we're seeing across the country, Caitlyn, are more and more people shooting people who are coming into their homes and attacking their families. So it really is something that I think requires most people to be ready to defend themselves, and you are a Second Amendment supporter.
I am a Second Amendment supporter. I am a gun owner. I go to the gun range. I make sure that I know what I'm doing. I have had people on my property. And although I've had my gun available, I certainly have never used it. But I haven't been really threatened, just kind
You
of
wouldn't
words.
hesitate to use it?
Yeah, Would I use it?
Yeah.
Oh, if I was threatened or anybody in my home was threatened, of course I would. But they would. I would have to see our lives are at stake. We have to take law enforcement seriously. That is such a big issue in California.
How do we get people to become police in this day and age?
I am kind of the poster child for change.
Yeah.
Yeah, we kind of got that. We have to change. This is about leadership, okay? I'm a leader. I've always been a leader. Gavin Newsom is not a leader. He's a politician. That's what he's in for, okay? Keep his power, keep his money, meet up with all his friends at the French Laundry, okay? He's not a leader. You need it to change crime, to do things like that. You got to be hands-on, on the ground with the police department, being a leader, leading people, not only the police departments, but also in a message to Californians about what's going on when it comes to crime. And that takes leadership.
Should Donald Trump run in 2024?
That's his decision.
Would you support him if he did?
If I was governor of the state of California, I would, obviously, I would support him.
What if you weren't governor? Would you still support him?
Yes, I still would support him. I do not like what's happening in this country right now. We always try to put everybody in a box. Like, you're white, you're black, you're a Republican, you're a Democrat. If you're a Republican, you have to think this way. You must think this and that. Republican ideas. And that's not me, okay? I'm an inclusive Republican because I have conservative economic values. I mean, if you have less taxes, less regulation, and a pro-business environment, it works. It works every time throughout history. Ronald Reagan, it worked.
Right.
Donald Trump, for the first 3 years, rocked it. I mean, was working, even after all he was going through.
Yeah, for 4 years, I think.
It always works. And so, but on the social side, I'm not like a lot of Republicans. I'm an inclusive Republican. I'm in it for the people. I'm inclusive to all. I think the number one thing that the Republican Party needs to do is change the image, because the Democrats have, taken hostage this question for years, and we need to change the image of what the Republican Party is. To all people.
Let's talk about the image. So, California is an extremely progressive state.
As blue as they get.
Yes, as blue as they get. You are a trans woman. How do you think...
Isn't that great?
How do you think that impacts a voter? One way, or affects them one way or another?
I agree that is an issue. I am not running as a trans activist, I just happen to be trans,
right.
But I'm a California citizen for the last 48 years, and I love this state, and I'm a patriot. The trans thing, it's fine. Some people are not going to get it, okay? I have never, ever been in a better place in my life than I am right now. Maybe at this time in my life, 65 years old, living my life authentically and having a platform and trying to make a difference in the most marginalized community in the world. Trans issues do not have borders. They're in every state in the world. They're every country in the world. They do not have they do not have borders. Take this marginalized community and have a platform to try to make it better. So, honestly, I feel like now's the time to do something with that. And to me, it's an advantage. Me personally, I think running for governor, it's kind of an advantage. Why? Because I'm at peace in my heart. I don't have any of these issues anymore. I get up in the morning and just be myself all day. I've always liked and loved helping people, And I don't think I could help in a better way in the state of California than running for governor. And trying to make a difference.
All right.
Trying to make a difference.
All right. Caitlyn Jenner, thanks for this.
Oh,
take care.
Love you, Judge.